Hello everybody. Today I want to talk about some ball mounts or ball head mounts, and these things are pretty handy if you had never used one. If you don't know what they are, stick around, I'll show you. As you can see, I've got an improvised mount here. I've got 3 ball heads on here, and this one is big enough. That's a pretty big camera. This one is big enough for that. Just so you know, I'm using Sherry's microphone today, and it's sitting on the table here. I fully expect I'm going to hit this somewhere through the video. In case anybody's noticed, I haven't been around very much lately. This is the kind of weather I've been driving through, and frankly, by the time I get done at the end of the day, I'm just done. And so I haven't been making any videos. I apologize for that. If this stuff clears up anytime soon, I'll try to get more into the swing of making videos. These ball heads, if you haven't ever used these, are very handy. And there's a ton of configurations that you can use these things for. Now this is what normally comes with if you buy a little tabletop clamp or something like that, and they're okay. They're not as versatile as they need to be. Now you can lean it 90 degrees, but only in one direction, and this piece doesn't really pivot. Once you've got the screw locked in, it's locked into that position, and you can depending on the mount that you've got this on, you have a little adjustability. These others that I picked up, these things are super adjustable. You can back off this little screw right here, and you can change the angle a little at a time. And not only can you change it, you can duplicate it. So that turns out to be very, very handy. And then you've got 2 notches over here to lay the camera over. So just as an example, if I turn this one this way, back off the big knob right here, I can turn the camera facing straight down. I can turn the camera facing straight up. I can put it on this side facing down, put it on this side facing up, and a little turn, and it just takes a little pressure, and that thing is locked into that position. So it gives you a lot of versatility if you need to, if your mount's not square or parallel to the ground or whatever, you can adjust the angle of the camera anywhere you need it. And then just a tiny bit of pressure and it locks it in. I'll put the names to all of these, and I'll put a link to them down in the description. And I've just got this thing stuck on. It's a windshield mount. It actually is made by Panavice, and I'm expecting somewhere through the video that's going to pop off the table, because these are all pretty heavy cameras, and that's not really what that was for. On the Ulanzi, you have this knob over here, which I better grab the camera first, and it just a little pressure, and it's the same thing. You've got 2 positions for this. You can turn the camera any way you want, and if you're doing something in particular, let me take the camera off. And that's one of the things I like on this one, is you can back this screw off, and the base is actually made onto the camera, and there are calibration marks on here. Turn this so that you can see it. So you can zero the center axis on the camera. Then you've got this you flip this, and then you've got your degree markings underneath here. So if you need to duplicate a particular setting, you can duplicate that setting. And once you get it balanced, if you want to do a panoramic shot and you want to do 80 degrees or whatever you want to do, you can take your several pictures and then stitch them all together when everything's said and done. Okay, and this one doesn't have any index marks, but it gives you the same adjustability. And you've got your camera mounted on here. There's a screw right here. And this is why I say this one doesn't have any index marks, but it lets you do the same thing. It's only got 1 notch on it, but if you need to lean the camera down, you put the notch there. Now the camera's facing down. If you need to face the camera straight up, just bring the notch around to this side. And again, it's just a light pressure, and it locks that into place. So any of these is going to be a decent option. Now I'll show you one other thing. You don't have to mount these on top. As you can see, I have both of these mounted on the bottom, and it gives you all the flexibility you need to put the camera in any direction at any angle, which is great for overhead work. And the nice thing is with this, I'm using a flat bar. This is just improvised stuff that I had laying around the house. So all of this is just improvised to do this video with. I just had a root canal done. Really didn't feel like going out to buy materials. So I'm just using what I had on hand, and that's kind of what my channel is about, using what you have on hand, figuring out a way to make things work. Same thing with this camera. Loosen this up, and this will go to whatever angle you choose to set it in. And you just lock it back into place, and there you go. You've got your camera set up. Now I'll show you a unique thing. The Alonzi supposedly will hold up to 40 pounds without tilting, and it has one other unique feature. I'll show that to you real quick. Just to illustrate a quick point before I show you the thing I was going to show you on the Alonzi mount, I changed this to a vertical position, and I'm quite astonished that the suction cup is hanging in there like it is. That's a lot of weight on that. But I've got these two cameras suspended down, and the big camera is facing up. Now this is an interesting thing because, I don't know, let's just say you want to do something where you're going to have, you want a different perspective from two cameras. You're recording with both of them at the same time. And that can make an interesting video because, it gives some interest that you're not just zooming the one camera in and out. If you've got two GoPros, doesn't make any difference. This little bar, that's just some scrap iron that I had. You could space those out further. You don't need the camera in the middle. You have one on either end of it. You have one above the other. A lot of options on that. So I just wanted to show you that real quick. This gives you some different perspectives to look at. All right, this is why I take this off. That's what's holding the bar onto the suction cup mount. It's amazing. I tell you, that's 3/16 steel, which is not what I would make that out of. If I had the other options, I would make that out of aluminum. But anyway, here's a little closer look. But you see all the markings on the degree wheel. This is what locks the camera into the degree wheel. This is what locks the shoe into here. And speaking of shoes, you've got a cold shoe. You can change back that set screw off, and you can change the angle on this, and you can lock it into a particular spot if you want to hook your microphone on here. But the unique thing that this one has that the others do not, you can put this on a 3/8 tripod mount, and it comes with a 1/4-inch adapter, so you can use it with 1/4-inch or 3/8 tripods, whichever yours has. And the other two, as a matter of fact, the other three only use a 1/4-inch. And this is the little cheap one. Give you a bit closer look on that. And it's not nearly as secure a locking position on this one. You can lock it, but it's a whole little procedure to go through. It'll work if that's all you got. It's a place to start. It's better than not having one at all. But these others are a lot more convenient for not many dollars. Might as well show you these other two. Now this one, I'm going to put these in order of price. And this one just, I guess you can buy these separately. This came with some kind of a desk clamp. And I think that this one came with one of my clamps also. But it's basic, but it does what the others do. I don't know that it will hold as much weight as the Alonzi, but it is easy to use, very easy to use. There's your adjustment, and when you get this thing where you want it, you just tighten this up, and it doesn't take much, and it's solid. And I'll put links to all of these things that I can find. I'll put them down in the description. This one was standalone, and you've got your lock for your degree wheel, and you've got the lock for the top. This has an O-ring recessed into it, so you don't need a lot of pressure. What some cameras, I'm sure you've seen this before. Some cameras, the threads don't go as deep as others. So that's what this little wheel is for. You put it down like this, tighten this up until this makes contact or you bottom the threads out in your camera if they do, and then you can snug it up with this so that, and the O-ring means that you don't have to have a lot of tension to lock it into place. One extra thought, if you've got a suction cup mount like this and you ever tried to mount a GoPro and it didn't really want to give you the angle that you wanted, because this has forward and backward adjustment, but not much in the way of side to side. If you put one of these on there, you can change your GoPro to any angle you want. And if you're wondering how I screwed that into my GoPro without a GoPro mount, I'll cover that in another video. So this is just an improvised chunk of steel that I had, and it was actually thicker than I wanted, so I had to machine a piece out of it so that it would mount on here and not bottom out. But something like this is pretty handy, and you can make this certainly out of aluminum would be a much better choice. I just didn't have a piece of aluminum laying around, and like I said, I just had a root canal done. I didn't feel like going anywhere. So this is good enough to get you started. Make do with what you have. Do the best you can with what you got, whatever little cutesy little saying on there. But the only way to guarantee failure is to not try. So just try something. If it doesn't work, modify it a little bit and try it again. I appreciate everybody that made it to the end of this video, and I'll have some other videos come up here. You can go check one of those things out, or just I'll catch you on the next one somewhere down the road. Take care. Appreciate it. Thanks a lot.